Well, Casemiro to Manchester United, possibly on. Not the video I ever thought I'd have to make, but let's talk about it. Could this happen? Now, my thoughts. First off, obviously, none of us want Casemiro to leave. It just doesn't feel good. Heart and soul of the club. It's been here a long time. It started with Castilla when he came over from Sao Paulo, went on loan to Porto, came back, multiple Champions Leagues, the GOAT midfield, KCM, Cruz, Casemiro, Modric, and now here we are, seemingly out of nowhere. Manchester United having a poor start to the season. They're looking to be aggressive here in the final days of the window. A lot of reports that Ten Hag really wants to bring in some new players, thinks they need new blood, and they're offering quite a bit. So Casemiro, 30 years old, Manchester United reportedly offering up to 80 million euros, and not to mention they're doubling Casemiro's salary. At first, a lot of Madrid fans, me included, were pretty dismissive, but time has been going on, and where there's smoke, there's fire. I've been a fan of this club for 20 years. This happens more often than you think. Redondo, Makalele, Ozil, Di Maria, Varane, Cristiano Ronaldo. There are a lot of times you hear this speculation that this is happening, and it's like, oh, come on, who's going to leave Real Madrid? They're not leaving, they're not doing that. And then it just starts snowballing, and then it happens. So with Casemiro, it's not too much of a shock. Florentino Perez views all these things as assets versus liabilities. Of course, he's sentimentally attached to some of the players, but he really looks forward when he's thinking. He's always a forward thinker. That's the advantage and disadvantage of this, right? The advantage is, unlike Barcelona, we don't adjust our wage structure because someone wants our player. We're smart with our players. We sell them even when it hurts. Sergio Ramos, we could have kept him. We could have said, you know what, we'll extend the deadline and keep you. We said no. You didn't listen. You didn't agree. So we're moving on, right? We saw it happen with Ronaldo. We didn't force Varane to stay. We do not force players to stay. And for Casemiro, a lot of questions about why would he do this? Why would he leave Real Madrid to go to the bottom of the table, Man United? One, he's achieved a lot here. I know it's a meme to say, oh, I want to go get a different experience. And we've been memeing Cristiano Ronaldo and Varane for leaving and kind of going through what they're going through. But every player is very confident. To become a football player, you have to be confident. Casemiro probably believes that he can be the turning point. He knows if he goes to Manchester United and is the turning point for them, what that's going to do for him in terms of his confidence, in terms of his stock in the footballing world. He'll prove to the world that he can do it without Cruz and Modric. Remember, Luka Modric and Toni Kroos both played for other clubs before. They are proven in general. Casemiro is obviously to an extent, but a lot of people still act as if he's only this good because he plays with Cruz and Madrid. So that could be part of his motivation. Also, let's talk about money. He signed a new contract last year till 2025, so he has 3 years left. Casemiro is making about 10 million net per year, so that's 30 million euros he's going to make. United are reportedly doubling that, almost 500,000 pounds a week. So that's basically 20 million over the next 5 years is 100 million. You're looking at 100 million versus 30 million. That's a 70 million euro difference for a player that's in his 30s. He's about to be in his 30s. We've already bought his replacement in Tchouaméni, who, regardless of what you think about his opening performance, Real Madrid are clearly planning for him to take over from Casemiro. This is not a pipe dream. The idea is that he's going to get integrated and eventually take over. Casemiro can see the writing on the wall. For Casemiro to keep his position in the next 2 years, he would have to elevate to another level of a player, and chances are he's probably going to stay around the level he is. So it's kind of all laid out. I don't like it at all, especially for chemistry. I feel like Casemiro, the Brazilian crew, Militao, Vinicius, Rodrigo, I feel like I really don't want to break that up. I really don't like the idea of losing Casemiro at all, especially this late in the window. But like I said, it's happened before with Xabi Alonso in 2014. Very similar circumstances. We brought Toni Kroos in after the World Cup. We had Kroos and Alonso together for a couple of weeks, and then Xabi left on August 29th, right before to head over to Bayern Munich. And we replaced him with Kroos. Obviously not the best replacement at the time. We didn't have a holding midfielder. Faltered against Juve in the semifinals. Casemiro comes back from his loan and leads us to glory. But here's the thing. A lot of players have different motivations. We're not in these players' heads. Obviously, I'm giving you some speculation now, but honestly, anything can happen. So kind of brace yourselves. I will say this, though. Thank Casemiro for what he's done if he does move on. There's no reason to vilify him. New challenge. Let him live his life. If he wants to leave, it's his decision. We are not forcing anyone out. What we do as a club is we abide by what our players want, right? If our players want to move on, fine. We're not going to stand in your way. We're not like PSG. We're not being a golden prison, so to speak. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's very interesting. But for Real Madrid as a club, I will say this. With Fede Valverde playing on the right wing, Casemiro leaving probably allows you to move him into the center more permanently. Obviously, you have Tchouaméni, Camavinga, and Dani Ceballos, who's a favorite of Carlo Ancelotti. There are rumors in the future of us going after Jude Bellingham. So it would kind of track, it would make sense for Florentino Perez. I'm going to be honest, I'm watching this many times. He got Casemiro for $5 million. He got all of his prime and peak as a player. And now he can sell him in his 30s for $80 million possibly. If Casemiro wants to go, I don't think Perez is denying that deal. I just hope if we do that, we do spend the money on a right winger and we do just attempt to get more dynamic in the final third. Casemiro leaving changes a lot of what we do and how we do what we do. But it can work. You get a double pivot. You get a right winger that can start and create damage on that side of the pitch. We're too lopsided. It could be something that works out. But Real Madrid are known. We always sell players before the fans feel it's time. And this is another case of that. But it is reality. We'll see what happens. But Casemiro could have shut down these rumors at any time. That's my main point. He could have at any point came out and said, you know what, absolutely not. You've had some reports of that earlier, but now the tide is changing. When momentum tends to build like this in football, it's not for nothing. When there's smoke, there's fire. So we'll see what happens. A lot to talk about if we do lose Casemiro, but that comes in a future video. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.